Greetings everyone, I'm of course Director of Arketer Labs, as far as anyone can prove, joined as you can see by the smoking rat. Angry
Hello.
Froman.
Are we muted?
Your mom
be.
gay.
No, you're not muted.
I hope
Well,
not.
no, you should be as something else entirely, but no, you're not
Good.
muted.
Right on.
Don't cock this up, Mark.
You've actually been pretty good with,
Thing for it to be.
You just
when you say that.
you have been good with, you know, just actually starting the stream without any fuck-ups recently, so I'm proud of you, son.
Ezerb, Bronze, Orla Seraph, and Steam's around there somewhere. I hear the occasional clank. Could be that they're, you know...
She said something about going to the South Seas.
Or maybe they're just baking a turkey.
She's back
takes a
from
while.
her tea and festing.
Yes, I heard about that. Shame to
you.
lose the previous mechanical arm. But, looks like they got a bit of an upgrade. Isn't that right, Steam?
Vlad made that for me especially, and yes, it did freeze up, and it did sometimes scratch my vagina, and it did sometimes catch me on fire. But
Those were fun.
where was I with this?
Greetings, I mean, also
Oh
to
yes.
dollar
Fuck
bill.
you. Fuck you.
This one's much louder, but definitely makes it harder to miss the flipping.
That's
There's
the
so much
spirit.
clanking and just. Greetings, dollar bill, Nightwolf, Snubius, and Cage Shoal, Lincoln DMZ, the Infidel, Thousand the Grey, appreciate your promotion. White Chapel 88, welcome. Man Squatch, welcome. Right, right, I think we're just... Nerdy Rodent, greetings. Officer Gex. And I think just about everyone is here. Officer Gex also hates it when they scratch their bag.
Yeah.
How are
It's
you all
like
doing?
enjoying all of this. It's ripped from.
Yeah,
How
I've
are we
learned a lot of
doing?
things I really didn't need to know already, and we just started. Learn about Steam's Chinese puppeteering, and hey, when he finally works it loose, he's going to mail it back to you.
He can keep it.
Oh no! I figured out how it matches in that article I mentioned. What is it called? Like a Mexican lawnmower, something like that.
But don't.
Oh no!
Want to know.
Oh, you
Greetings
disgusting
from
bastard.
yep. It's me. I think I've greeted everyone. If I haven't greeted you, I didn't see you, and whoopsie doodles. Moving on, I guess we can. Unless people want to talk about how the week has gone. You know, any exciting developments on your end? Anything that you just have to share with an audience, maybe? Ideally, not fisting related.
I'm in a different room in my house.
My trading deal with China was just terrible. Absolutely terrible. The bastard dare get angry at me. And refused to deal with me. And it's like, bitch, you broke my arm.
Well, you're probably wondering what's on screen at present. This is a very real island that it's probably someone's go-to vacation home in the near future, in that it's been spotted. This comes from a Google article where a Google enthusiast apparently uncovered an obscure, well, Dick Island. They found Big Dick Island. Yolene Voltaggio discovered the oddly shaped landmass in the Pacific Ocean. The Google Earth Explorer could not believe her eyes and shared it with friends. It can be found within the tropical Trinity Islands off the coast of New Caledonia. So if you're looking for a private island to own, assuming you can buy this one, then I suspect, well, there's sure to be someone who's going to want purchase it. Actually, it's kind of surprising. This wasn't the real Little St. James. Would have expected that maybe.
Kind of looks like an archipelago, to be honest. So it may not be for sale.
Probably.
It looks like part of an archipelago, yeah.
Pencil Dick Island.
Pencil Dick owned.
You know,
Pencil
We have
Dick
a-
Island.
You have a very strange scale of measure. I'm thinking. I mean, it's let's see, what was
You
it?
should see some of the turkeys we get up in there.
I'm surprised that somebody hasn't tried to make one of those man-made islands and make a, phallic-shaped one yet. Surprised that hasn't happened already. Like,
They
why
have.
hasn't-
It's just they're Chinese and you couldn't tell.
Well, I actually, the Chinese could do it, but I would have thought Dubai would have done it or something, just to be, weird.
It'll be the first
Well,
time they
in
made
the
a...
same in the same line of the joke that Easy just gave, look at Africa, and it's like one from the side.
Well, it's more than 500 meters long. Plenty of space to build a very novel resort on. And Squatch suggests make a resort there called the Dock and Calls, and wait for the dyslexics to check out. That didn't take long.
We're fine.
But in any case, we found a very interesting island that I'm sure many people would love to own. Maybe if Count Dankula wins the lottery, he might look into purchasing this one.
No, he is owner of the world's largest micropene.
Oh, apparently this person looks familiar to someone in chat. Brad Young, greetings by the way. Message. Oh. This looked familiar, Brad Young. Apparently they must have some connections to get their whimsical spotting on Google Earth go directly to Daily Mail. I'm sorry, there's quite some thumping going around here. Driving me nuts though. It's like drumming right between my ears. And that's fine. After having my sanity tested at great lengths, assorted ways,
Oh, boo-hoo.
it shouldn't register.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Steam, stop
Repairing
masturbating.
cannons and machinery all day, every fucking day. It's fun. After a while, you start losing a little bit.
Fair enough.
I was gonna say stop masturbating under Ark's desk.
That image you just had of that woman with the teeth, the smiling, she didn't look human to me.
You never know. Certainly we've got a lot of people who are in major political offices that don't look human. But in any case, Jezebel released an article a while ago and became laughing stock of the internet for a while. Who forgot to invite Chun-Li to the Mortal Kombat? By Shannon Malero, who clearly hasn't played either Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, much less be familiar with lore in general.
Nerd.
But being a astute film critic that I am, I immediately clocked a glaring error in the film. Where in all the realms was Chun-Li? If there is a battle for the fate of Earth, don't we need all of the greatest warriors gathered, which would include Chun-Li and her spinning bird kick that can knock a man's head clean off? Sounds like a pretty big plot hole to me. The ultimate street fight is supposed to be won by a ragtag team held by Sonya Blade. No offense to Sonya Blade stands. Update for 39 PM. Jezebel has discovered the answer to our question about Chun-Li's erasure, and is that Chun-Li is not part of the Mortal Kombat Megaverse. Wow.
Jesus Christ.
And that's how you tell someone is an idiot.
I just want to know, did the writer have to hand their paycheck back in? Because that's the sort of thing that I think would require a refund on some level.
I wouldn't get a refund. I normally just kill people and take the money.
Steam, you busy? I have a question for you, real quick.
Oh, what's that?
Can you snap
What's
your
that?
Can you snap your fingers with that gauntlet on? Can you do that? Close enough. I'll count it.
It's more like,
Yeah,
you know,
Fair enough.
trying to set a fire. You get a piece of flint there. Oh no, do not give Steam flint now.
Why would she need the flint? She's got the oven.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
The
so
oven is at least in a semi-controlled environment. She got a piece of flint in her hands. All hell breaks loose.
I know. I think I can flick my fingers. Just give me a minute. I'm a lot better with this one.
Yeah.
Nothing flammable in your vicinity, is there?
What?
I want to be wary of sparks. Throwing it
No,
out
what
there.
did you say?
If there's anything flammable in your vicinity.
It's steampunk Victorian England. Everything is flammable.
You can probably
Usually
get
covered in
snapping
oil.
Right. Just a few more tries. And if I can snap through leather gloves, surely you can do so in your gauntlet.
Right, I'll try again. Ready?
Yes.
It's made of metal. What do you expect?
You
Have
know,
you considered some flint attachments?
Fuck you. I'm not setting myself on fire.
Not today.
Again.
well, I mean, you don't even need to shave your.
That's what
No.
I'm
Oh, it should-
self-harm. I'm not a masochist. I'm a sadist.
That's subjective. Clearly, on this point, you are at least something of a switch, or else the tasing would have on a lot. If, in any case,
Okay, I'll the switch.
reported by MSN, sharing it from CNN, they would like us all to know that reparations for slavery could have reduced COVID-19 transmission and deaths in the U.S., Harvard study says. Does anyone have any idea how a Harvard study could possibly make that claim?
By
Well,
pulling
it's
it out of their
math.
ass.
I mean, sure they can make a claim, but supposedly this is peer-reviewed. By who, though? COVID-19 is disproportionately sickening, killing black Americans, a result of centuries of structural racism. A group of Harvard researchers says, if the U.S. had paid reparations to descendants of black Americans who were enslaved, though, the risk of severe illness and death from the virus would be far lower, according to new peer-reviewed study by the researchers. The group of researchers from Harvard Medical School and the Lancet Commission on Reparations and Redistributive Justice Lancet Commission on Reparations and Redistributive Justice.
So here's my question. So, like, you know, right now China is being extremely, you know, racist to groups of Muslims and you know, people of color and things like that. But their COVID numbers are really low. Would that mean that racism prevents COVID?
Yes.
So what you're saying is, I need to be more racist.
Yes. Racism stops the coof. Let it spread far and wide.
We can, of course.
That's a real shame because I'm one of the most progressive people.
Harvard Medical School does. I now don't have any faith in any sort of surgeon who claims to be from Harvard Medical School when they have the Lancet Commission on Reparations and Redistributive Justice. Say,
I guess
I
I,
wonder-
can let go my. I guess I can let go.
I have
my
a
Asian
hypo.
slaves, keep the black slaves.
okay, all that was entirely garbled. You can go.
Okay.
I said I don't know how.
More
I don't know how.
One time. Steam, first. You finish thought.
No, it's fine.
Copy of text.
I think lagged and can't, and this is just left over from her trying to talk initially.
Okay. Orla. Now try saying the thing.
I guess not.
Okay.
Anyone? Steam?
Yeah, you
Try
did.
again?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I have a.
Okay, that's it. No one gets to speak. I'm finishing the article. As the U.S. approaches 1 year living in COVID-19, Black Americans and other groups, including Hispanic Native American people, much as 4 times more likely to be hospitalized than white Americans, data from U.S. Centers for Disease Control Prevention shows. Yeah, I'm not really understanding how they can say with a straight face that reparations would help this in any way, shape, or form when these super brainiac surgeons who totally, they're very serious professional doctors, not at all ideologues leeching credibility from other organizations.
Well, I was
They,
trying
do they
to
ever
say
bother
that.
to explain how you're supposed to disperse reparations to descendants? I mean, what do you do about people who are descended from both slave owners and slaves? Which do they get a portion? Do they have to pay themselves? Who pays who, what, and how much? And how do you determine if they are legitimately entitled to it? Because you can't do it just by skin color, can't you?
It's easy.
Can you?
They're half white, even though the first slave owner in America was black. But never mind about that. They're half white, so therefore, fuck them. They don't have the money. Even though the majority of people who are related to slaves probably had parents who were slave owners. But
and
here's the
welcome,
thing. I need to be
you know.
more racist to not have COVID. So, should I let go my Asian employees or my black employees?
Well, I mean,
Employees, more slaves, but whatever.
Well, look, I understand the intersectional theorists have determined that Asians are white now, so I guess greater diversity, all black. Oh, but then they're working for you, and that's basically
Let
slavery.
go of the crap.
Yeah, it's a bit of a conundrum. I don't think we have time to parse it. Any case. Yes, reparations just pretty absurd. Here we have a short video clip from someone who voted for Biden because they wanted to help their Uyghur, that's how it's pronounced correctly, brothers and sisters in China.
The Biden campaign has called China's treatment of Uyghurs genocide. Amir hopes that one day he can vote in a dedicated homeland for his people.
Yes, notably, he's an American citizen, but he is all about actually being Uyghur Muslim and wants to free his country, which apparently isn't America. In any case, big Biden supporter, and I wonder how he's feeling right now, because Biden dismisses Uyghur genocide as part of China's different norms.
Genocide,
President-
different norms.
President Biden is
Same thing.
dismissing the genocide against the Uyghur population in China, apparently after, just as they told us, he recognized it as genocide, but it's an okay genocide because, you know, China's just a different place. I mean, who are we to judge?
Of course. You know, whenever I try to commit suicide, not suicide, genocide.
Yes. Don't imagine trying to commit suicide all that often, you just live dangerously.
Whenever I try to commit genocide,
Freudian slip.
I always get fucking assholes trying to say, no, you can't do that. It's inhumane. It's disgusting. How dare you? How could you kill such an innocent baby just because it belongs to the commies? And yet, it just turned out I had to just bat for the popular team. And then I could do genocide all I want.
Exactly. I find it fascinating how every little criticism that they've made against Trump, Biden has personified, if not worse.
By a factor, yes. Suckers. In any case, dubbing the mass internment a different norm, despite the State Department this month responding to quote-unquote atrocities in the camps following reports of systemic rape and torture. The commander-in-chief made the remarks after being asked during his CNN town hall Tuesday everything about his recent conversation with his Chinese counterpart, starting his response by relaying Winnie the Pooh's justification for the abuses. If you know anything about Chinese history, it's always been the time when China has been victimized by the outer world is when they haven't been unified at home. Biden began. So the central, well, vastly overstated, the central principle of Xi Jinping is that there must be a united, tightly controlled China, and he uses rationale for the things he does based on that. I suppose credit must be given to Biden at this point because he didn't mention leg hair once. And that was mostly coherent. So he was probably being fed lines through earpiece again.
You know, like, I'm just pointing this out. Genocide and the Jews are bad, but genocide and Muslims, they're fine. Right?
Oh yes, Brian Hitter points out, then the Yahtzees just had a different cultural norm. I mean, it's the German way of life at the time. I mean, who are we to judge them?
Yeah, who are we to judge them?
A little bit of cultural genocide and such. I mean, these things happen, I guess.
Genocide? What? It's just a bit of genocide, you disgusting right-winger. What the fuck is
Cultural
wrong with
cleansing,
you? Can't you
and,
handle a bit of genocide?
Hypothetically modern culture. I mean, it happens, right?
By the way, I don't commit genocide. I just clear out the waste.
Well, I mean, you really haven't even done that. You're kind of like the mild-mannered kind of individual. Egomaniac, sure, but not really that big a deal in your world.
Go fuck yourself.
See?
China,
If you
nation
were
is faced.
Getting older, my ways of doing things have calmed down a bit. Yes, I don't go around burning everything I see anymore. But
You're mellowing out in your old age.
yeah, I'm mellowing out in my old age. I mean, I used to kill like 16 people a day for fun. Now I just kill like about 8. Just because,
And 6 of those are Ezubs.
yeah, just because, well, it's part of the job now.
By the way, greetings. To joys of sorrow. Moving onward. China, a nation that has faced a wave of national scrutiny over the past few years relating to its activities in dismantling democracy in Hong Kong and its refusal to accept responsibility for negligence and a lack of transparency at the onset of the coronavirus outbreak, which, of course, they would still insist came from somewhere other than China, and are grudgingly willing to say came from a wet market, when, no, it came out of that lab. I don't believe it was just a matter of eating bats. I get a little bit annoyed every time that gets put out there.
Look, my new arm is taking a chunk out of my chair. Oops.
I'm proud of you.
Well, it could be worse. She could have taken a chunk out of herself.
You know, we've seen that
She's
chair
done that many times.
do you a considerable amount of injury over the months, so I'm thinking it had it coming.
No, actually, this is the chair that she hasn't been injuring herself too much on.
Yeah.
Right?
What? What?
One has not let global
fine.
tensions stop its mass internment of Uyghurs in Xinjiang province. President Biden continues in his response that he is not going to speak out against the Chinese Communist Party's belligerent actions in Hong Kong, against the Uyghurs, or in Taiwan. I point out to him no American president can be sustained as a president if he doesn't reflect the values of the United States, the US president continued, and so the idea that I am not going to speak out against what he's doing in Hong Kong, what he's doing with the Uyghurs in Western Mountains and China and Taiwan, and trying to end the one China policy by making it forceful, Winnie the Pooh gets it. Culturally, there are different norms that each country and their leader are expected to follow, he continued. The norms in China, as shown in a recent BBC News expose, include systemic torture and rape occurring in the Uyghur concentration camps.
But at least he's not a Republican.
Yes, I mean, what if they'd voted for the other guy? I wonder what this mouthpiece is feeling right about now.
People like me.
People like me are subject to different norms, sir. Build back better. Okay, well, move on. And, let's move on to something a bit lighter-hearted. 30 Taliban militants killed in explosion during bomb-making class.
That happens.
Reminds me of secondary school.
Actually, same. It was fun.
Not
Yeah,
everybody
that's-
realizes you should lubricate the end of the pipe bomb before screwing it on so that you don't accidentally set off the gunpowder.
Mrs. Daviston was so pissed at me. She lost an eye. It was great.
Still, that means it went better than this particular class. And, by the way, greetings. Moving... Oh, and Jordan Shadow Lightning. Thank you for joining us. Moving forward...
This is how you... This news title, this is what happens when you have an overachiever in class.
Truly. I wonder where they recruited these people from. Because, well, we'll get to this in a second. At least 30 Taliban militants have died in Afghanistan after they blew themselves up during a bomb-making class. The Kalamat Press news agency that said the fighters died when improvised explosive devices they were learning to construct exploded inside a mosque, quoting a release from the Afghan Army's 209th Shaheen Corps. The blast happened on Saturday morning in a mosque in the village of Kultak in the Dalatabad district of the Balkh province. The fighters included 6 foreign nationals. The bodies of the 6 foreigners could not be identified because of the extent of the damage caused by the explosion, the army statement revealed. The militants had gathered to learn techniques for making bombs and IEDs from the 6 foreigners, who were reportedly considered experts in the subject. And surely some of them were, but only just one person winging it.
Here's the thing, when I recruit people, okay, so we put up posters and it's usually a picture of my tits. That usually gets most people in, but we don't expect they're experts just because they say it. Sort of thing. One man said he was an expert in cunnilingus. He was a fucking dirty liar.
No, you heard what you wanted. He said he was a cunning linguist.
Wait, what?
And he might just not have been prepared to deal with the flavor of char and oven cleaner.
I do not taste of char and oven cleaner. I taste of motor oil.
I don't know.
Yeah, she won't let me anywhere near her with the pine sol after that other weekend.
Meanwhile, greetings, Supreme Lord Ender and Tennis Queen. You now have a wrench. You don't use it for anything. Unless directed.
You enjoyed yourself too much on that.
And as the chat remains, a lovely cerulean.
Tried to fix it with a gay Zoob, but turned out gay Zoob was a complete fucking prick who had a thing for a squid. So.
Well, the squid girl just happens to, be nice.
I'm still trying to figure out where the pine sol comes in. Where's the pine sol in?
Oven cleaner.
I felt bad for gay Izu because they seemed actually quite nice and very supportive. It just reminded me too much of the internet gas incident, and I still feel terrible about that.
Steam, stop dying.
Shut up! My arm stuck my boobs.
Your arm stubbled which?
And we've reached the point where the gauntlet was taking a chunk out of her.
It was inevitable.
It was.
That's fine. It's fine. The only organic part about me.
So you're just still acclimating to. Yes.
Yes, it's,
She's been acclimating for 20-something years now?
To be fair, she's missing an eye, so she doesn't have depth perception. It's amazing she hasn't, lost her other eye at this point.
Hey! Fuck you! I have amazing depth perception, you dick! Whoops.
Well,
we've...
Depth perception, not depth perception. Your interest in Johnny there is your own business.
Well, we've discovered she has perception for neither.
Yeah. It's okay.
Just one more thing China's taken from her.
Yeah.
China's taken so many things from me now.
Look, you'd be able to just break that him habit. better control over that.
I have an opium problem. You have an opium problem.
I'm forming a conspiracy theory about this whole China thing. She lost an arm in China. There was an incident where she lost her eye. Didn't that involve China? Maybe they're
That did
trying.
involve China.
Yeah, so an eyeball,
Leg in China. I lost most
a
of my organs
robotic
in China.
arm. You lost what else in China?
Most of my organs. They're sprawled throughout China.
They're trying to build a spy satellite out of her missing parts. That's my theory.
How long until the spy satellite crashes itself?
It's only
So
got
you're
one
saying there's
IT, have you tried turning it off and on again?
eye. So, yeah,
he lives in steampunk Victorian London, England, and the Chinese are, what was that? Biopunk, medical waste punk. They're making things out of organs and.
I don't know. It sounded like a good conspiracy theory. I could be wrong.
They're
Sounds
just going full
horrifying.
body horror.
Yeah,
I was not made in China. I am pure English, and I have some other stuff in me, but I have pure English.
And a lot of other things.
English
in her.
stuff, pure English stuff, crammed up in there.
Also, other stuff.
No.
But Miss Dean kept her virginity intact in China. A good one.
Yeah, biopunk does sound messy. Yeah, it does.
Really, really, and quite disturbing besides.
I mean, they
Oh,
have
I'm
mutants.
sorry. We're still doing articles, aren't we? Sorry.
Oh,
That's
right.
alright.
Oh yeah, the chemicals thing.
Chemical thing.
Are we still on the bomb making class? Is that the article we're still on?
Yes.
So could we just say that class dismissed?
Oh,
I think that they blew it.
Probably.
It was an explosive presentation.
F minus minus.
It's always
in
the
Afghanistan.
getting people in trouble.
Has been relentless peace talks between the Taliban government representatives that have been underway in Qatar for months now have stalled. There's also been a nationwide spike in bombings, target killings, and violence on the battlefield. The Islamic State's group's local affiliate has claimed responsibility for some of the attacks, but many go unclaimed, with the government putting the blame on the Taliban. The insurgents have denied responsibility for most of the attacks. But this is really quite novel. If this class is out for summer and also ever, shouldn't the bombings at least die down for a bit? At least I think that they took out an entire class full of hopefuls, including 6 so-called experts.
Well, to be fair, the class did blow their minds.
Why does it say 2 minutes to read?
Because after that, it explodes.
Yeah, is there like should the Mission Impossible theme be playing or something? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, did they pass or fail? They passed. Flying colors. That's what I said. And flying body parts.
You know, it's not that hard to make a bomb. You just get some poor sad sap who needs the bomb desperately, and if it goes wrong, well, you didn't
Look,
know.
what we need to do if we want them to do it right is just teach them how to do gender reveal parties.
Oh yeah, that's fun. You just do gender reveal parties. That always works. Always works when it comes to bombs.
Seems to. It's not a bad idea.
If you like the show, please donate to the Streamlabs so I will jiggle for you and piss Arketer off.
And no, don't do the ticket jiggling. I will block the jiggling. That's why for the sign up. You know how this works. It's fine.
$100 and I'll
though.
put on a dress.
That said, your support does help keep this show going, and me
And
personally,
that's how
especially
Arketer will never get $100.
supports my crippling health of the. Moving on. There's also plenty of art you can buy via the Redbubble link in the description. We'll just carry on for the time being. I just seem to be flying through the articles. Time is crawling. I think it's just to spite me personally. Teen Reserve trying to get fake ID back from bar. I guess they paid good money for it. Yeah, I'm thinking.
Well, it wasn't high enough quality for them to not lose it at the damn bar, so.
Yes, and the ID. Clearly, it wasn't worth the money they paid for it if it didn't actually serve to work. Oh, here we go. An Edmond, Oklahoma woman was arrested Tuesday night after calling police in an attempt to get her fake ID back from a bar. 18-year-old Blakely Sands was arrested Tuesday night after calling the police in an attempt to get her fake ID back from a bar. Police in Edmond, Oklahoma responded to the bar after Sands told them that the bar took her ID and she wanted it back. When officers arrived at the bar, they received a Texas ID with the name McCammy Queen. Sands told officers she was McCammy Queen, and the bar didn't believe her. Why would they choose the name
McCammy Queen?
Is this an homage to Superbad?
It's an homage to Queen, the band.
Officers ran the Texas ID license and it came back eligible out of Texas to a Robert Sanchez. Sands told officers she did not think she would get caught. Sands was then arrested for presenting a false ID with the purpose of misleading officers and taken to Edmond City Jail. And then she got grounded by Dad. That's a joke. I'm pretty sure her parents aren't that engaged.
I'm pretty sure, or I'm surprised she didn't go for the, well, I'm transitioning attempt.
I'm trans age. I'm
Okay.
secretly a 22-year-old woman trapped in
Well, they're 18.
autistic body.
They can go to war. Strictly speaking, I'd say they should be allowed to drink. I wouldn't recommend it. I think it's advised. But what's bothering me right now is that... Is it just me, or... Is it one eye's here, one eye's here? It's just a...
Inbred? Yes.
That's unfortunate. It's not so bad. I mean, we're not looking at Quasimodo here, but that's kind of bugging me. I just kind of want to push that one up just a bit.
Do you want
Like
to see?
they're just shy of being in the right places. It's
Do you want to
haunting.
see what's underneath my eye patch?
no.
Proud of you, Steam. You didn't break character at all.
I don't want you removing anything whatsoever on stream. Thank you.
Ark, don't get too concerned with the eye thing. You'll start noticing it.
sure
You'll
you
start
can?
noticing the imperfections in everyone. Then you'll start thinking everyone is a lizard person, or reptiloid or something.
No, I'm aware of subtle asymmetries. I'm certainly not perfectly symmetrical myself, and yeah, there are plenty of small imperfections there. Just that one, I don't know why it stuck out to me. Why it haunts me now. I can't quite get her face out of my head, or at least her eyes.
Maybe she got dropped on her head when she was a kid, and it just deformed her face that much.
I feel worse, but again, they are 18. They're basically an adult. They're just. I'm wondering, maybe it does indicate some underlying condition. I've lived and think they could use a fake ID. And then call the police to
Believing they could
retrieve
use
it.
a fake ID is one thing, but then calling the police to get it back, like they weren't just going to run it.
Hey, Arketer.
Yes.
Nothing. Oh shit.
Do we really want to go this route?
Oh.
Oh, by the way, that reminds me. Thursday, blowing off steam, was making a big deal about my apparent bad breath. You don't have anything... No.
Well, we're all doomed.
God damn it.
Oh,
Also, what about
my.
bad breath?
Oh, we'll get that in a moment. Brian has generously donated $100.
Whoa.
Thank you for this generous support.
Well-
Really going to make a difference, personally.
Just so you know, this means the next stream I will be wearing a dress on camera, and it's gonna traumatize everyone.
Oh,
Next
God.
Saturday, to be completely clear.
Oh no, the return of
Brian.
lewd steam.
This meshes with it. I spent most of the day fixing leaking pipes and cleaning water at the basement. I needed this today. Thanks, everyone. Well, thank you, Brian Yoder. And I'm glad if we've managed to distract you from the big freeze. So, Steam, about Thursday blowing off steam, complaining about my breath, but it was impossible for them to be smelling my breath. You didn't have anything to do with that, did you? No discreet button being pressed, maybe releasing, I don't know, some sulfurous odor, maybe?
Oh no, I wouldn't waste money on that. I just threw a dead body part somewhere in her room. Oh, and also, fuck you. Oh yeah, I got this. This looks better.
There's no articulation on this, but if I ever challenge you
Is
to a
anyone
duel, I'm
else-
definitely going with it.
Is anyone else half dreading, half looking forward to the moment we're going to hear her scream and she catches her nipple in the gauntlet?
No.
That
can't tell
shouldn't
if
be
it-
likely to happen because
Fuck
There's
you, that's
layers
only
of
happened
fabric.
twice.
that will need to stay in place.
So I guess it begs the question: will she be screaming because she's in pain or because she's turned on?
Both.
Sounds about right.
Almost
to be
got
honest,
no.
that was
have to go
like
on.
the most aggressive boob jiggle yet. Actually, that one was almost violent. It was kind of different.
It's the gauntlet.
The gauntlet
We'll
effect,
get
too.
used to it.
Yeah.
He has to use more muscle power
She
to
can't
keep the same
handle all
lifting
that power.
Yeah.
action. It's
that's-
not calibrated, and it's just. In any case, good thing to note. I thought it was strange. Steam was smelling the other steam, the nice one that.
Yeah, we normally hide body parts around a room to fuck with her, so we wouldn't use technology like that on her. That's a waste of money. I'd rather do it to you.
No, actually, I'm not much more hurt that apparently they only smelled it whenever they thought they were smelling my breath. So apparently they feel I have breath of rotten corpse.
Oh, not a rotten corpse, just a rotten foot.
Rotten foot.
Yes.
Very specific. In any case, sabotage. Called it. Arketer isn't live. I should be live. Pretty sure I'm alive.
You are alive. You're alive. Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by that abstract, but welcome to the show. Lord Volkos, welcome. I prefer Miss Steam because he made me high executioner when she takes over as capitalist overlord. Steam is blowing off something. Yes, that's correct. And,
To be
Look.
fair, I have a few hundred high executioners, so. What part of the country you're in again?
in the vanishing likelihood that blowing off, real Miss Steam here takes over the world we know, you'll need at least that many high executioners. We just need a high executioner to organize the high executioners to organize the regular executioners, because there's going to be a lot of killing necessary to sustain that, and it's just not going to happen. Nope. 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 Steampunk England, steampunk colonies, okay, fine, but not up to task facing the U.S. military.
I'm sure I can face the US military.
Well,
It's just
how you deal with
Americans-
them is considered unconventional.
It's just I'm taking over the British Empire. America's not a part of that.
Yes, anyway. Doesn't seem very likely. Because thank you again, Ryan Yoder. Very much appreciate the support. Moving on, a Vice article asks, or states rather, no man can compare to this boyfriend made of boxed wine. Men are trashed, so why not just date little garbage? By Drew Schwartz, Brooklyn, US. They do know that they are also a man. I'm guessing.
No, I don't think they're aware.
Well, that's going to be a big plot twist for them one day.
You don't know. Maybe he's got a vagina.
Possibly. Possibly. Men are great at catcalling, ghosting, living in filth, and are absolutely flawless at being pretty shitty boyfriends. So when Mike Schneider's boyfriend dumped him in 2015, he gave up on looking for some new dude to date. Men are trashy figured, so why not just date literal garbage? Schneider told Vice he, quote-unquote, self-medicated through wine after his breakup, and wound up with a shit ton of empty boxes of Franzia. Looking for something useful to do with him, he decided he'd build himself a new boyfriend, and thus, after a few months of work, his hunky boxed wine bay Franz was born.
So he's an admitted alcoholic.
Well,
Look, we knew you wanted into the country blackout, but I mean, really?
what? Like what? He came in as literal garbage.
Apparently,
I know I'm
apparently
trash,
the
but
Norwegian-
Jesus Christ.
Apparently, the Norwegian boy is literal garbage. Well done, Bucko. You made it.
Well, I mean, it is the fish no state.
This is,
Well,
I'm thinking anyone who's happy to date just a bit of cardboard box art is probably doing everyone else a favor by not trying to establish a relationship with living people. But it's just a really nice bonus there that they named it Franz. Though I'm over the breakup now, and the copious consumption, I always thought it would be sad, funny, little sweet to make a companion from the empty cartons left over, Schneider told Vice. Franz is great. He's better than a regular boyfriend because he's a strong, silent type, but also sweet and caring at the same time.
Almost like sexual chocolate.
It's just like Franz.
Right. What is my life?
you feeling
Look-
boxed in right now, blackout?
Are you gonna whine?
I made a. I'm.
And greetings, chat and Mort. Thank you for turning up. I'm hoping you're amused as we learn more about Franz's American doppelganger. From the looks of Schneider's Instagram relationship is a dream. He and Franz spent a recent morning eating breakfast in bed and finished out the day by making a nice home-cooked meal together.
So, Franz's doppelganger is very fruity.
You could say that, I guess, yeah.
It's got something.
So, Franz, you're the strong, silent type, are you?
Sure, Franz might not be able to speak, feel human emotions, or move autonomously, but he's up for anything. Most boyfriends might think of doing a couple's photo shoot as cheesy, but Franz, however, poses for the camera like a champ.
You mean?
This is basically a Norwegian sex doll at this point.
I don't like this.
The thing is, Franz would be a great concubine.
As good as things are with the BWB or boxed wine boyfriend, Schneider can't help but worry a little bit about whether they've got a real future together. Mr. Merlot doesn't make for a very talkative dinner party guest, and while he's a joy to have around, he winds up filing Schneider with a lot of housework. What happens next? Victor Schneider asked Vice. Do BWB and I move in together? Do we go shopping for furniture? What happens when he meets my friends, my family? People just assume you're insane, I suppose. And aptly.
I mean, you're kind of telling the entire world now, so you basically fucked yourself there. Yep.
And
Well,
technically,
see,
that's
this
the
I
entirety of
believe-
his sex life at this point. You know, being true to Bronze.
I believe that that particular article is from 2 years ago, and there are follow-ups that were posted in the Rage pages.
Oh, well,
Hey,
then I'll try to.
Jack, my favorite.
We'll catch up
My
this.
favorite concubine. I got this for you. It's ribbed for your pleasure, and mine too.
Steam fists herself.
Yeah, more, please don't attend any of her orgies. Thinking
No,
there are
she's my
designs
concubine.
at work here. Where are we? You think cardboard would
She's
shave?
my
Yes.
butt baby.
You would think. Look, Green Director Draw, that's serious. For the record, we need to put a notice there. Do not create any sort of cardboard box sex dolls. Paper cuts are a seriously painful thing, and I'm pretty sure they're just that much worse when they're on your dick.
So if it's
So-
if it's a box Norwegian boyfriend, does that mean he put a dildo on the box so you can have the thing fuck it?
Yes.
I suppose
But,
that's
you know,
slightly
probably put
less
some
risk of
boxers on.
cardboard.
They put boxers on the box and then put a dildo on the boxers.
Hmm.
You'd think at
My
some
God,
point he would have splurged and at least got an actual glass wine bottle for something, but I don't know. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know.
He's an alky. He just quantity.
So Blackout, I didn't know you were in a gay relationship with an American with a box fetish.
I'm not.
See,
Bronze is up
the
for
guy
anything.
likes it. The guy's like his boyfriend's edgy.
I mean, that
I don't swing that way.
cardboard cut is really going to be hard to cover that. Guess being the wine box boyfriend, I might be.
I mean, you obviously do because, well, you obviously do because why would he call you Franz?
Yeah. It's not really a common name, is it?
No.
Clearly, the evidence is piling up. Let's see, moving on. Trump acquitted in historic second impeachment trial. The verdict after the U.S. Capitol insurrection leaves unresolved the nation's wrenching divisions over Trump's brand of politics that led to the most violent domestic attack on one of America's three branches of government. I immediately note that whoever wrote this is kind of full of crap. It's from the Associated Press. Lisa Mascara, Eric Tucker, and Mary Claire Jelinek. These propagandists are calling the erection that Trump incited, Charles Schumer,
The erection.
a violent domestic attack.
Down girl.
A violent domestic attack where the insurrectionists, again, just have one of their unarmed members shot to death and they just kind of go away. That's a violent domestic attack, is it?
So, I'm thinking instead of insurrectionists, would it be mid-erectionists to keep with the erection theme?
But in any case, they're just mad that once again it completely failed. Which I have to say, the effort to impeach him when he's already out of office always baffled the hell out of me because they're just saying they're really terrified he might be elected in the future. Which is saying they don't trust their fellow Americans to vote right and want to take that power right out of their hands.
Oh, fuck
I don't like that.
elections. Fuck elections. Like, be a dictator. It's fun. You don't have to follow any laws.
First unarmed insurrection in history. Yeah, that's they're violent. Not a single shot fired by the terrible insurrectionists. Real brutal. You know, that's kind of depressing overall. Let's move on to something a bit more interesting. Fed sees 2.82 million worth of frosted cocaine cornflakes.
They're great.
I feel like I've been denied something.
You've heard of Coca-Cola original recipe.
Okay.
Snap, crackle, and crack. Federal agencies 2.82 million worth of cocaine-coated cornflakes, U.S. Customs and Border Protection said in a news release on Friday. CBP officers in Cincinnati intercepted a large shipment of cereal that was headed to a private residence in Hong Kong from South America. Officers opened the box and saw cereal white powder with flakes coated in, quote-unquote, a grayish substance. They tested the flakes and the substance, and they found that they contained cocaine. Breakfast of Champions. The shipment had 44 pounds of cocaine-coated cornflakes, the agency said, noting the street value could be upwards of $2.82 million. Cincinnati Port Director Richard Gillespie said in a statement that the men and women of the Port of Cincinnati are committed to stopping the flow of dangerous drugs, and they continue to use their training, intuition, and strategic skills to prevent these kinds of illegitimate shipments from reaching the public.
Dangerous.
CBP said that it seized 3,677 pounds of drugs reports on entry on typical day in fiscal 2020.
It's just cocaine.
It's Special K.
Question.
Extra Special C.
If it was headed from South America to Hong Kong, how did it wind up in Cincinnati? How does that happen?
The Earth is flat and it's a cover-up.
It does seem like a bit of an indirect route. But
yeah.
You know what's really funny is that they get these shipments mixed up and they get stocked on just a grocery store somewhere.
Whoops.
You buy a box for little Timmy, and next thing you know, he's hot-wired the car, running around in circles. Talk about a sugar rush.
I start my mornings off right with mescaline brand. Scoops.
Is it terrible?
Flailing tentacles in every box.
I'm really curious. Is how?
I
put
just
in your
had
tongue?
I had
Well,
a
a tingle.
Cola, and that's got cocaine in it. I'm perfectly
do they-
fine.
How many times have you hurt yourself with your gauntlet in the last hour?
None.
Twice.
Twice.
But did they mention the quality of the cocaine?
I do wonder how they intended to separate it from the cornflakes, or is it already? Was it precisely how it was intended to be consumed? Were they going to have it as a breakfast cereal?
I'm guessing they were going to do a reduction on it. Just run it through liquid and then dry it.
Hmm. Just wow.
Just like Mom used to make.
Mm. Oh, and Arketer.
Yes.
You're just turning her on more.
Look, we're approaching into this. Do either of you have anyone to promote, maybe?
Oh, it really is ribs for my pleasure.
Clearly, the next escalation will be tasers again.
I need the numbing ray back. It's been too long.
Life is just a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If anyone has anything to promote now,
Does that make this one big circle jerk?
No. The current ebbs and flows. It's
More like sex in a waterbed. But some point soon, Reservoir Slobs will be back.
Yes. At some point.
Glad to hear. Please, don't any.
Should we just
names?
trademark the term soon at this point?
To be announced.
Unfortunately.
Thank you again, Brian, for your generous support. I hope you've all had a reasonably tolerable time in context, especially if you happen to be living in a state that's freezing over and doesn't know how to handle it, which is all southern ones. Present. Weird as
Don't worry.
that is.
Next week you'll all be hot and bothered by me in a dress.
Well, bothered, but not hot.
Bothered. Mostly bothered. Very much bothered. I have I can't necessarily say there will be a side quest Monday, but it's hoped that as people thaw out their everything, the schedule will resume. I, again, wish you all the very best in surviving out there, and since gauntlets seem to be the theme for today, here's one for you.
Ah, shit.
I think he has you beat on that one.
Would you like to play a game?